Hi everybody, my name is Diego Simijaca, and with the doctors Mónica Miguel Vázquez, Rosa Emilia Perez, and Gilberto Campo, we are sharing today lichenized fungi diversity in 3 vegetation types of Aguascalientes, Mexico. Mexico is an interesting place to work with lichens, with multiple contributions of foreign and local researchers. For example, Delesdain with Lichens du Mexique, and Nash with lichen flora of the Greater Sonoran Desert, or local researchers as Herrera Campos, Perez with their contributions on family Parmeliaceae. Other works in systematic and phylogenetic allow us to know new species as Alixoria sierramadrensis, or several species of Cora as Cora benitoana, recently discovered for Moncada and team. With these works, it allowed to know more than 2,700 species in Mexican territory. Also in Mexico, there are some works in ecology of Mexican lichens. For example, bioindication and ecosystem health using lichenicolous fungi and lichens, or forest management in pinus plantations, or in different states of the country, studies about lichens communities, or other works, for example, canopy richness of different trees, and beta diversity of the different hake zones, or finally meta-communities and phylogenetic structure are other of the knowledge apported by the different researchers as Mexican or foreign researchers. However, lichen diversity in Mexico have been intensively worked in the northeast and southeast part of the Mexican Republic. And for example, less worked is the central region of Aguascalientes, with only 57 species in Zacatecas, or 27 species in Querétaro, and or even 2 species until 2014 in Aguascalientes. With this context, we want to know how many species are in Aguascalientes state, including not only dry shrublands and arid zone, but temperate forests and subtropical forests, because they have an important portion of territory in the states. Also, by the convergence of several geographical provinces as Sierra Madre Occidental, Mesa Central, and Eje Neovolcánico, allowing the recording of several species, and allowing found new species as these species of Erinchium in Aguascalientes territory. Then to shape this list and to know about diversity patterns of lichen species in Aguascalientes, we identify the available material in the collection of Herbario de la Universidad Autónoma de Aguascalientes. We perform analysis for alpha diversity with the number of species per site, gamma diversity as the total number of species per vegetation type, vegetation or beta diversity following Carvalho with the beta total following the sum of replacement and richness differences, and to found groups or to identify groups in the lichen communities, we perform indicator species analysis and NMDS and analysis cluster. As a result, we identify 342 samples from 19 sampling sites on Aguascalientes, 18 families, 43 genus, and 96 species. The family, the richest family is Physiaceae, followed by Parmeliaceae and Caliciaceae, and the less richest family are Megasporaceae, Ochrolithiaceae, and Pertusariaceae. Caloplaca, Physia, Phaeophysia, and Hantoparmelia are the genus with the big quantity of species. About substract, I can say that 47% of species are representing wood substract, 40% of species are representing rock substract, and the less represented substract is soil. About reproduction structures, apothecia is dominating the reproduction forms, followed by Soralia, Isidia, and Perithisia, and only one species presenting two forms of reproduction, Apothecia and Soralia. For growth forms, 64% of species are represented by foliose form, and 36% of species are crustose. At the moment, we yet not found other growth forms in our results. And for the photobionts, I can say that 84% of species are related with chlorophyta. About alpha diversity, I can say that the biggest number of species in one site are 22 species, and the main richness of each site are for subtropical forests, 17 species, temperate forest 10.5 species, and red shrubland 10 species. We have found differences on the diversity of subtropical and dry shrubland, and the richest site are Presa de la Codorniz. In other side, dry shrubland has the highest gamma diversity with 54 species. In beta diversity, vegetation types shared less than 25% of species, and the most dissimilar sites are temperate forests and dry shrubland. The most similar sites are subtropical and dry shrubland. And subtropical forests have the most dissimilar sites with the highest mean in dissimilarity for each one of for the comparison of each one of the subtropical sites. And dry shrubland has the most wide dispersed values in beta diversity. Indicator species analyze shows that temperate forest hasn't indicator species, but Caloplaca saxicola are an indicator of dry shrublands with high importance value, and Flavopuntelia flaventior, Leptogen jorgenseni, Phaeophysia nashi, and Physia viciana are indicator species of subtropical forest. Regarding lichen communities, we can find that axis and different variables had a moderate correlation, and stress is suitable. We can find that subtropical vegetation is forming an exclusive group, and Evas and Campus Sur are the most dissimilar communities separated from the group. And temperate forest and dry shrubland are closed communities, or have some samples with closed communities. Also, we can say that this distribution of the different type of vegetations is similar to the represented in Lukin et al. 2016. Showing temperate forest near than dry shrubland, and humid forest or subtropical forest in the other side of this scheme. regarding the composition of different communities, we can find 4 groups or 4 principal groups, with one group isolated with Campus Sur, the second group with subtropical forest communities, with the 4 sites in this community, and 4 group with some elements of temperate forest and the other elements of dry shrublands. And temperate forest divided into groups, one more near to subtropical forest, and other more related with dry shrublands. And finally, with the list of species, we are recording 96 species in this work, and comparing with Alvarez and Guzman Dávalos and Miguel Vázquez et al., we have 37 shared species and 59 new registers on Aguascalientes, achieving 115 species until April of 2021. As conclusions, I can say that this work is contributing to have a better and more realistic perspective of the lichen diversity at the state, at country level. And with 115 species in Aguascalientes, we have the 16th place in lichen diversity on the country. Also, beta diversity is showing high dissimilarities, motivating most intensive samplings in temperate and subtropical forest and in other places of the Aguascalientes state. And this work is a preliminary result of the first author doctoral dissertation, hoping an increase of lichen detected richness and in Aguascalientes, and some changes in ecological patterns. So much thanks for your time.